I'm back, I'm Gerty Rude, back again, that Friday mood. Well, it's here, it's Friday, the week is nicely and tidily wrapped up. And, oh God, we're here with this, I tried not to view two people, ladies out there. I tried so hard. I did. And gentlemen, sorry, I always forget the gentlemen. There are gentlemen, you know. There are. And a lot of gentlewomen as well. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle exposed for sick new magazine. I'm going to, do you know what I mean? Pass out. I feel a bit ick. Anyway, so Prince Harry gets LA out revealed that involves because he's going to get a Legend of Aviation award. I mean, if you believe that, I'm going to, well, they've actually voted me Fashion Model of the Year, darlings. Yes, I'm going to receive an award that I definitely haven't bought. I mean, this man is brat. Isn't he? Begins with a P and ends in a something. You know? Why? To be, heroes of aviation, don't you need to be an aviator? He's not an aviator. He's never flown. Well, he's flown in a lot of them, especially private ones, in order to save the planet. Obviously, because the elite, they fly across the globe, backwards and forwards in private planes, lecturing, you know, giving speeches on climate change, you know, that type of crap. So, but you need to be an aviator to be awarded an award, or to give an award, or to speak about, like he was last year, wasn't he? Got an award. And this John Travolta, how dare you, bald ginger bleed, how dare you? I was going to say another rude word. My Johnny, we'll leave him alone. You could have made him dance. I mean, it just goes to show, doesn't it? And he said some crass about, he made his name dancing with me mum, or some old load of old hooey. Excuse me, Diana all over the world got the kudos for dancing with him. Let's have it right. At that specific point in her career as being a royal princess, you know, what was I going to say, receptacle of some royal fluids. But she did come from a very aristocratic family. If you look back at their family, they go back to like Anne Boleyn, Charles II, all through, yeah. They're very well connected. Probably better connected. Well, it's the same connected actually as the royals, because the royals only descend to the throne through Mary Queen of Scots, who was the granddaughter of King Henry VIII's sister Margaret. There you go. I used to know it was by a second husband. Something like that. She had a child by her second husband. It did get a bit incestuous, because when Mary Queen of Scots married Lord Darnley, yes, they seem to have the same grandparents or something. I remember working it out years ago. So anyway, we won't talk about that because it's a bit, you know. So that happened. And yeah, so the Spencer family is a very, very long, very well thingy-bob bred family. I think they're even descend from the Duke of Marlborough, which would be Sarah, Duchess of Marlborough, and the first Duke of Marlborough, John. Yes, he won the Battle of Blenheim. He did, in the 100 Years' War. There was actually like 5 years, but they couldn't count. Plus they were French, so do you know what I mean? Lucky they got that even. They always have to make things bigger, don't they? Oh, look at us. We're having a bit of a war. It's only gone on for a few years, but let's pretend it's 100. And they still got slaughtered by us. Yes, we won, you know. Of course we did. I don't know why they just didn't give up the French. Oh, yeah, they have, haven't they? Come to think of it. Yeah, they've given up all right. They just send all their people over here now, darlings. So, should we jump in and see what's happening? Because he's going to be an aviator. I mean, while he's accepting, is he going to give the award because he banjoed it last year somehow? Is that what he's doing? Or has he actually got himself an award this year for being an aviator, even though he's never flown a plane or a helicopter? He was a gunner in a helicopter. He wasn't flying the damn helicopter. Bleeding pest. So, if he is getting the award, he's obviously doing somebody out that has actually flown a plane, probably under trying circumstances in some situations. What about that one that flew the other day? Was it between March and Christmas? There was a plane come down in an airport in America, but luckily it didn't go on fire and all the people got out. I think maybe a couple of people were injured slightly. But the pilot saved the day, darlings. Why isn't he getting an award? Why is this ginger bleed goon getting up there, getting his bleeding nose in the trough? Anyway, Dan's going to tell us, so grab everything holy, darling, because you're going to need to.
Yes, has decided to
Right.
launch another broadside
Yes.
at his cancer-stricken father,
Oh, here
King
we
Charles,
go, here
on the
we
cover
go.
of a trashy US tabloid magazine.
I know, Dan. He's
Is this
crap.
really what he meant
Yeah.
by finding freedom?
No one
According
cares.
to Taz, the royal YouTube sensation with me now. Tash, I do want to look at this Us Weekly article in just one moment
don't
because
Taz
I
look
think it's
lovely?
particularly despicable.
Hello, Taz,
But
it's me,
first,
Gerty.
Harry, he's had his moment
Right.
as the little bit of arm candy, as the spare in New York, absolutely mortified by the fact that he...
Did he just say arm candy? Did he say arm candy on my computer? Vulgar. I mean, not Dan. What's... the Barclay, arm candy? More like poola... What's it they call it? Poodle parlour. That type of thing. Arm candy, my fat ass. Eye candy and arm candy. No. No way. Neither of them. I'm not having that. I'm the only eye candy and arm candy around here, darlings. How dare they steal my mantle?
Playing
Let's go, come on.
to a D-list
Hello,
Suits actress.
Tazzy.
So now
Darling,
he's
I love
going
you.
back to his happy place in Southern
I know you didn't mean that. Sorry, darling.
California.
She didn't mean that restraining order thing. Do you know what I mean? Where, stalking outside her house. That didn't happen, and I'm hoping that she's going to get over it and probably move forward and move on. And never look back, darlings, would be good. So hopefully, one point in my life, you might remember and say hello to your old Gert again. Actually, don't, because that'll just trigger me off again. Anyway, Taz, we love you. We love Dan. Boom, let's go.
This is the 22nd annual Living Legends of Aviation ceremony. It will be
what is that
held
thing?
later today.
Hello,
At the
look at me. I'm stood here. Oh, I'm in sluts again, and I'm wearing all these clobber. What the clothing department got me costumes they did, they made me wear it. Basically, all I did was get on the job. Couldn't stop myself. I was there, I was being, porno-y. I was a paralegal, a porny legal, whatever. She was doing the do on sluts, suit, whatever it's called. Right, let's go, Gould. She was good there because she must have been about 43 when she was doing this. So if you look at her, yeah, she's quite hot for 43, 2, whatever. Do you get me? I don't think there's anything wrong with her there. She can't tell me she's in her 30s when she was in sluts, because that's, no way. But whatever, do you know what I mean? Just agree with her.
Beverly Hilton Hotel with John Travolta serving as host. And you remember he was honoured last year as a living legend. This year, actor Morgan Freeman will be attendance, and the inductees include Christopher Cassidy, a real living legend of aviation.
He's not going to start being rude to bleed Morgan Freeman. He don't want to try. Mind you, knowing him, he will belittle him and make him seem lesser than, because, hey, I pulled him as
who was a former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut who logged 3 space flights, and Robert...
Yeah, what? So? He's a former astronaut, no one cares. It's Baldy Bazza. He's from the Royal Summer. He is. He's Royal Fluids. Something rather. He's so much better than everybody else. Just because this other guy's a rocket scientist and this, that and the other astronaut and done something else, and wasn't he a Marine? Yes! Yes, but he's not royal. Not like the bald person. Just as well he's not bleeding indigenous American Indian, isn't he? Because they'd call him bald eagle or something, wouldn't they? Bald pigeon. Because he shits on everything. Right, let's go.
Gibson, a former astronaut. But isn't this just so mortifying, Tash? It's almost like Megan said, come on, you stand by my
he's an astronaut and he gets to hug a royal.
Side here, and then you can go off and pretend to be a living legend of aviation again, even though your entire military community are laughing at you for such a fanciful claim.
The entire military community, Dan, are you sure? Are you sure? You're not being hyperbolic, are you, darling? Because I think it's a lot more than the military community that's having a light giggle at the moment. Oh, what would we do without these two global Bobo dolls? They're such prats. Anyway, let's go.
It's almost as bad as Harry going there as it would be seeing now Gayle King and Katy Perry in their little astronaut suit. I mean, honestly, it's an absolute farce, Dan. I think the majority of people are well aware there are good reasons why we've never seen Harry, unlike his brother, fly a helicopter, fly a plane, or do any...
I'll tell you why, because he's sub-under par intellect. I mean, the fact he was at Eton, the money paid his way through, but money don't buy you brains, you see, so he's probably special needs. Do you get me? Learning problems, you know. He might be ADHD or something. Might be something anyway. So, yeah, that's why they wouldn't let him near a plane. I mean, can you imagine? Can you even imagine? He's the one that thought a fox was talking to him telepathically. Do you get me? They probably did tests on him, because they do all the military. They do random narcotics tests. I can't say the D word. And, yeah, I think it's a piss test, isn't it? So, I bet he swerved it, though, because he's a royal. You get me?
Piloting experience since he left the army. In fact, I don't think anyone's ever actually seen Harry fly any sort of aeroplane or anything. As I said, even a helicopter.
We've seen him flying in them a lot, darling, but we've not seen him getting on them, getting off them with the bleed, what's her name? I was going to say pig and trot, high heels. I don't want to be rude because it's Friday. But yeah, we've done a lot of that. Yeah, on and off the plane. Not flying. I mean, would you get on a plane that was being flown by that bleeding cretin? No.
Outside of the grounds. We've seen Prince William for years take part in all sorts of piloting exercises.
William, yes.
Harry, outside of staged photographs.
In fact, I've got a flying phobia, but if I had to fly anywhere, I would absolutely insist on William flying me, because you just know that plane is in tip-top condition, or helicopter or whatever. It's going to be in the best condition ever. It's got the potential, well, it's not the potential, the next king flying it. So I'm sure it's engineered within an inch of its life. I bet every rivet is brand new. So yeah, if I ever had to fly, William could be my pilot any day of the week. Yes, definitely.
Never seen him, so I do believe the rumours that Harry never qualified to become a full pilot, that he was a gunner.
Yeah, well, he was a gunner. He wasn't a pilot. I thought everyone knew that. I didn't even know he was trying to qualify as a gunner, pilot, whatever. He was a gunner. He was at the back, rear, boom, 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 with bang bangs, bullet things. No, he wasn't a bleed. Or if he was a pilot, he was the one next to them. You know, the sub one. I think they call them navigators. My God, can you even imagine being in the air with him navigating? I'm doing air quotes.
Because of that, you know, it's quite well reported that Harry wasn't, what shall we say,
clever?
Academic.
Yes.
So it makes sense that, you know, he was pushed into the position of being a gunner. It allowed him to
there's a Trevor COULT
keep face.
But Did you see that? It was Trevor COULT MC. That's not Baldy Barry. He's pulling a Swift on us. We know who that is. That's the TCMC. He's the man of the moment, he is. He's a geezer, he is. He's a lad, he is. He's one of the boys. Oh, he's up there. He's up there now with the echelons. Yes, he is. Yeah, I think he can fly a plane and all. That's what I've heard anyway. Let's go.
He's not a pilot, and the fact that he went and accepted that is just laughable. I'm embarrassed for him.
Barry.
I know, I really am too. And actually, Tash, that is a really good point for me to say. If you sign up to my Substack, www.outspoken.live, you can watch my brand new bombshell interview with Trevor COULT MC, who is going into a lot more details about the allegations that Prince Harry...
Oh, that is why he was putting up the pictures of the TCMC personage. Has he done a thing? He's getting himself about the place now, isn't he? Don't you think? He's spreading himself all over the gaff? He is. He's getting up there with the echelons. He's up there with the good people. With the bright, shiny people, you know, darlings. Oh, good for him, bless him. He's been through hell these past few years. And that's not to mention the 2 tours of duty that he's did in wherever it is. Somewhere, is it... I don't know, is it near Poland? Somewhere like that he was, anyway. And those morons, they sit on Twitter. Especially that bloody Emma Wells thing. Right? I've never been in a war zone. How can they even say what they would do? Especially them two cretins. Yes, I'm talking about you two. They know who they are. Absolutely bleeding cabbage. And the big reveal. He reveals it big. Yeah? Even today, I mean, minutes apart, they're posting, never been in a war zone. Never been in a war zone. She never goes out her front door. Do you get me? Never done shit except sit there bullying people all day, cyberstalking, and ringing up people and getting them kicked out of their jobs. And she used to bully Taz as well. Yeah, we won't talk about that though, because obviously, do you know what I mean? It's not my story. But he's put up with 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan under fire, yeah? And then he's put up with like 3 years of this crap. Do you know? He deserves a bit of luck, doesn't he, the kiddie? Oh dear. I don't watch his stuff because I can't listen to men talking about army stuff no more than probably he could, like, listen to me talking about sweet furry little creatures, children or something, you know. It's a man's thing. He appeals to people that like have been in the forces or are thinking of going in the forces or have relatives in the forces or probably haven't been in the forces but just like listening to men talking about military stuff. And he also talks about, I know you all know him anyway, you should be sub to him. He talks about the politics of the day and he gives his spin from a veteran's point of view. But the shit he's had to put up with. And they've got that Delulu bleeding Diane bleeding Durham crank as well. She's posting, oh yeah, my haters and all this. No, nobody hates you, darling. You're just a nut job. You're threatening to blow up. But no, she was groomed. She was groomed into it by the others on there. Because she's, in the end, she's not well. Don't say I've said that. So yeah, it's very, very sad. So good for you, darling. So you're going to be on Dan Wooton's Outspoken. Oh, I always used to call it, what did I used to call it? Unspoken. Yeah, because my eyesight's not good. Right, let's go.
Never passed
it's a tight little,
all of that training that he needed for the military. It seems like there has been a big cover-up surrounding that, and you can watch that interview at www.outspoken.live right now. But Tash, can we talk about this Us Weekly magazine cover? Because I am totally appalled by this. It's like, when are you going to stop,
Why is that
Harry?
happening?
When are you going to understand?
Why is that happening? It literally doesn't. King doesn't care. He wanted to have his freedom flight, bleedy blah, with the women of his dreams. Even that the other day, Instagram that dropped. Easter egg hunt, we're doing an Easter egg hunt. And I said hunt with H. And he's like, oh, where shall I put the eggs, my love? Should we put them here? And then as he walks out, he's going, oh, here we go, come on, family. To Megan and Doria. Come on, family. Megan and Doria. Knowing full well, or hoping, because it's being posted, that his family will see it, and he's precluding them or including them as family. Come on, family. I mean, who even speaks like that to their wife and mother-in-law? Oh, let's go put some... It's just so immature. Yeah. Oh, come on, family. Just like, shut up. No one cares. You're just making yourself look like a clown. You wanted what you wanted. Now you've got it. You don't want it. And you're flagellating yourself, well, daily in public for years on end now. You know? Shut up, go away and leave us all alone. Aren't you desperately in love with like banyan trees connected at the bum like salt and pepper and something or other? Go away.
And that your father has, according to Lady Holland Campbell on this show, incurable cancer. And what, you want to bash him week after week after week in trashy...
Well... What can we say? Dear YouTube viewers, what can we say? I know what I think, and I think that Charles isn't going to live, you know, I don't think, a decade. And, mind you, the way I feel today, I don't think I will. It's hard to tell, isn't it? You never know when your numbers are. So, yeah, I can't wait for William to be king, because I think we need to, you know, we need to shake things up a bit. And I think when he gets too old, he should abdicate and let George have a go while George is still young enough to be able to do it. Don't get a god complex like our queen. And I know you're going to say, oh, how can you say that about... She's like somebody you're not allowed ever to criticise. Personally, I think she should have abdicated years ago and let him have his chance. I also think that Queen Victoria should as well. I think she should have abdicated and let her son, because he was only king for like 10 years. And it's just like, oh, they've got their fingers on the, you know, white knuckles on the window ledge. No, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, once you know, just retire. All the other kings and queens retire. We're led to believe she always just wanted to be a country lady that lived in the country with her dogs and her horses or whatever. Off you go then, trot. Why? Who would do that to their son? I would never do that to my son. If I knew he was just sitting around, our relationship was him watching to see every time I got a temperature to know when he's going to get the top job. You get me? I would just retire, let him have a go at it, you know? Let him enjoy himself, let him have an impact. It really is just going to go down in history a bit like Edward VII. You know, a decade wonder. He came in 1901. I think it was it the 8th of January she died, 1901. And then he died in 1911. So, it's not fair. He'd waited all his life. I think he was 65, which Victorian times was an age, wasn't it, you know? Anyway, I've rambled on. Let's go.
American tabloid magazines, which I thought was everything that you were opposed to. He's literally doing what Princess Diana's enemies did to her, which is something he has always claimed really destroyed her life. Well,
yeah, but you're not supposed to spot that, Dan. You know, do as I say, not as I do. It's the same with all of that, like, going on about women, this and that, empowering, blah-de-blah-de-blah, with women, especially women of colour. And look what he did to that Sophie lady the other week. You know the one I mean. Lovely lady, doctor. Yes, so they're both hypocrites. I'll save the planet, save the world, free the world, or something. Yeah? Can't get them off a private jet, the pair of them.
Father is now in his final years, yet you are doing the same thing.
Right.
He's learned absolutely nothing, even when he was very vengeful and angry when they decided to do Oprah, and maybe he believed that his family...
Can you see she's copying Gin and Skins with that lippy? Isn't she? She is. I think I'm her inspiration. I think Gin and Skins is definitely Taz's inspiration, because you can see, if you look at Taz, you can see she's definitely copying Gin and Skins. She is, isn't she? Obviously, you know, she's going to have a bit of a tweak and a tuck here and there, because she's not quite as grand as Gin and Skins. But she's getting there. She's getting there, bless her. She's trying. You've got to give her an award for that.
Were using Prince Philip's health. If you remember, sources close to Meghan and Harry said that they were trying to muzzle Meghan, and Prince Philip sadly died a matter of weeks later. Any normal person would have taken from that and been...
Yeah, but you said normal person, darling. We're not dealing with normal people. We're dealing with bleeding fruitcakes. Narcissists of the highest order. I think he's a histrionic every day of the week. Sometimes I think she's malignant. Sometimes I think grandiose. Sometimes I just think she's a pain in the bum. People always want to put these titles on people, don't they? They want to hitch a wagon and say, oh, well, this is that person, put them in that filing cabinet. It's just a rotten female dog. I was going to say a rude word, but I didn't. Do you see I just stopped myself?
Absolutely horrified at their behaviour, but he didn't. And look at all of the attacks that they continued to do.
Disgusting.
Filming Netflix.
Yes.
Not knowing that the Queen would die when she did. That the Queen would have been alive to see all of those vile attacks and things that they did. Yeah, she would have been alive to see that.
That's why they did it. They did play into the gallery. Obviously, it was bunts of the fact that the whole of the world got to see it, but basically, they were having a little two fingers, metaphorically, up at the royal family. That's what all that was about. They were knowing and hoping that the royal family were all sat there over tea, watching their bleeding shenanigans, and crying and weeping and thinking, please come back, because they're delusional. People with their types of personality disorders are delusional, because they are the star in their own lifetime show. They just assume that everyone around them is as well, you know, that can see that, and are lost without them, you know. Without me, you've just completely messed the family up. We're just begging you to come back. It's just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And it's the same with her. She thought that she was the biggest thing since sliced bread, and the family was all going to fall to pieces without her, blah, 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 etc. If anything, they're better without them two pair of bleeding donuts.
They didn't stop them. He wasn't, absolutely horrified at his actions when his beloved grandmother died. Not at all. He's just more angry. And he seems to just be hell-bent on trying to hurt his father as much as he can. And I think it's a very good reason why all of the royal family seem to be keeping him at arm's reach. He cannot be trusted. He's so toxic now, and he's so vengeful. I don't think he's ever going to stop, Dan.
I don't.
No, he's not. He's absolutely not. And he cannot cope with the fact that they've just said, sorry, you're ghosted. Yeah. And by the way, there is
because they tried to ghost them, because that's her thing, isn't it? Particularly her thing. She ghosts people. So she sort of ghosted the royal family and got him to ghost the royal family, without realising that they've actually ghosted them. Because I think they really did, because they're delusional, they really thought that there's going to be such a furore in public that the royal family would have to go cap in hand and beg them to come back to do their royal duties, be part of the royal family, because they're like the leading lights of everybody, just delusional.
An irony to that, given that Meghan ghosted her own father.
Family.
Now, let me take you through this cover piece in Us Weekly. I should just explain, by the way, and we'll hear from him in just a moment, that Dan Wakeford, who is the new editor-in-chief of Us Weekly, used to run People magazine. He's known as being someone who's very sycophantic towards Harry and Meghan, so this is all coming directly from their people. So this is the cover. Prince Harry's rift with King Charles deepens amid his ongoing court case, and they brand it an exclusive. They speak to a royal...
if you think of it from another point of view, he's taking the king to court. The court represents the king. His dad is the king. He's taking the king to court. So it's an ongoing court case. So I would have said, as the king, never mind the fact he's his dad, as the king, you can't possibly talk to somebody if they've got an ongoing court case against you, basically. You. Not basically, actually, you. So I wouldn't want to talk to them either. I'd actually move as far away as I possibly can from them. So there is that legal element to it, if you think of it laterally. Probably it's an excellent reason, that probably someone offered it to Charles and said, well, do you know that, la la la, and it's an ongoing court case, and you probably shouldn't really be in conversation or communication with him at the moment. And he's grabbed it and run with it and thought, yeah, well, exactly, brilliant, fantastic. I don't have to see that bleeding, self-pitying, little whiny, whingy little female dog.
Insider Tash saying this has been terrible for Harry's relationship with Charles.
Well, you should have thought that before you took your dad to court.
And thinks he can intervene. But Charles can't, and it just continues Harry's narrative that he's been cast out.
The court represents the king.
Then under the headline Royal Wounds...
Is he thick?
A royal insider says Prince Harry doesn't seem to understand that Charles can't get involved in this discussion about his security, but he
can't get involved with it because he's taking him to court. He's taking his own dad to court. His dad is Royal Majesty's Courts of Justice. That doesn't mean some random person. That doesn't mean somebody that maybe lives in Bolivia or Hong Kong. It means his dad. His dad. So basically he's taking his dad to court to get security for himself. Of course he can't get involved, and I would have said you can't really discuss anything with that person at the moment because you are in litigation with him.
Still blames him.
What does it
Harry and Meghan are no longer working royals, so they don't get royal protection anymore. It's the British public paying for this.
No one cares.
So there's no leeway.
Right.
Adds the insider, it's between Harry and the Home Office.
Okay.
But then this is when Us takes Harry's side, and they report Us understands Harry was led to believe he was guaranteed protection for the rest of his life. Now, let me just come in there, Tat.
Well, I've been led to believe a lot of things in my life that turned out to be untrue. So what? I mean, for somebody that's so worried about your protection, you're always everywhere all at once. You're like a dog with two bleeding tails. It's not about you and your protection. It's about the Marklet being granted a motorcade with outriders everywhere she goes. And if she can have it set up in Britain, then they'll probably start bullying the Americans to allow it her as well. Because she turned up at New York the other day to go to the cinema with motorcade. The woman's a bloody menace. When you think of all the hard-earned tax dollars to go on a two-bob what's-it, going to the cinema, making jam or whatever it is, I don't know, fruit conserve. Something she does, poking and prodding it with her bleeding fingers, wiping her hands and touching her hair and her face, and in go the fingers again. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, so she's a royal and she wants a motorcade.
To say, I know that is total bullshit, because around all of the time that I was breaking the news about Megxit and then reporting on the Sandringham Summit, I know that senior members of the royal family made it clear to Harry that the consequence of leaving the royal family and why they didn't want him to go in a fit of pique was losing his security. So at the very least, at the time he decided to exit, he knew for a fact that he was not guaranteed protection for the rest of his life, even though that is what he's now briefing Us Weekly. Then an insider goes on to tell the magazine, Charles...
I don't know what word you use for that, Dan, but I call it lying myself personally, but there you go.
...wants to solve the tension with Harry and put it behind them, but there's nothing he can do here.
Yes.
It's all out of his hands.
Yes, good.
Tash, just before I get your reaction... let me show you the video that this guy who runs Us Weekly and is totally on the side of Harry and Meghan, Dan Wakefield, how he has explained it.
Yes, come on then, let's listen.
Behind the scenes, it's personal. Insiders tell us that his case has driven a deeper wedge between father and son. Harry believes...
Firstly, who's this? Secondly, what's the programme? Because I've never heard of it, never heard of him, don't care. Go on.
Charles could step in, but Charles isn't even answering his messages. They were both in London, and they didn't.
Because Charles has got cancer. He's also got what's called running a bleeding country. And also, as I keep stressing, he's taking his own dad to court. He is the figurehead of the courts. Royal Courts of Justice, King Charles's courts.
Meet. Charles, who's battling cancer, says his hands are tied. Security decisions aren't his call. But it's up to a government committee. But Harry is not buying it. In court, Harry argued he was promised protection for life and cited threats from terror groups and extremists. His legal team claims he's just being singled out and treated unjustly. The palace, they're watching closely. Many think Harry's media appearances and tell-alls have shattered trust. The royal family doesn't trust him, said one expert. And some fear Charles is worried anything said in private could end up in court.
Well, will do.
Or
end up in the papers.
Memoir. As Harry visited wounded soldiers in Ukraine, some believe it overshadowed.
It'll probably end up in one of their podcasts, won't it?
King Charles's state visit to Italy, breaking royal tradition and adding fuel to the fire. Charles reportedly wants peace, but for now, there are no calls.
Of course he does.
No reconciliation, just a heartbreaking rift between father and
it's
son.
not that heartbreaking. He took his dad to court.
Whose fault is that, Tash? And yet you can see all of the framing in that story is as if Harry...
If you think of it, your dad just happens to be the CEO of a massive company. Yeah, you've got a job guaranteed there for life. But in a fit of pique, you leave, okay? And now he's taking the business to court because he can't have all the things and whatever it is, the goodness and the extras of being a member of that firm. That's it, isn't it, really? So, got no sympathy.
Rather than cancer-stricken Charles. It's nuts.
I know, of course it is.
What is it with narcissists bullying people with cancer? They seem to have a thing for it, don't they?
You know, we know that Charles cannot have anything to do with this decision any more than the Queen did when the decision was made. And I don't think that even if this does go in Harry's favour, which I hope it does not, because there's no other member of the royal family that gets what Harry is demanding outside of the king. And then, of course...
And at the end of the day, Taz, we've got to fund it. Why should we? Why should we? We've got veterans sleeping in doorways. And we've got a homeless epidemic in Britain. We've got all sorts of things. The towns and the cities are all run down. We've got crime out of control.
Prince William and
he wants
the heir apparent. But I think with Harry, he wouldn't stop even if he got his security. Next, it would be that he'd demand that he had a palace residence to come stay. I can't bring the children until I get a residence given to me. I can't bring the children until I have this. He's want, take. He doesn't want to pay for his own security. That's what I think the majority of this is about, because it must be costing them millions every year. But he just cannot see that his actions have consequences. No one is treated with the way that Harry is demanding. The senior working royals do not have full-time taxpayer-funded protection, and Harry just seems to leave out of these sob stories. When he comes to the UK, he does get police protection. He just has to follow a set of rules, give them 28 or 30 days notice. He can stay inside palace residences with his children, so they will be safe and protected, but he chooses not to, because it's all part of this constant, boring, tiresome, odious victim narrative.
It was like that. It was like that at the Queen's Jubilee thing. They were supposed to be on a bus, weren't they, with everybody, but they deliberately, that's my opinion, I'm entitled to it, didn't make the bus, so they went in a Cadillac, didn't they? And they were so scared of the protection and this, that and the other. She wound the window down so that all the people could see her.
And I think everybody's just sick of this entitled man-child.
But first, the reason you're watching this show is that it's becoming increasingly difficult to trust mainstream media.
I think we'll leave it there, because I've had enough of Harry for one day. I've had more than enough Harry for one day. I'm sure you have as well. Anyway, I love you and leave you. Bye-bye now.